whole point, and that's what The Last Jedi was building for. You don't need these lineages and bloodlines to be able to be someone and do something extraordinary. But here, JJ, because you got a bunch of people, and I still like The Last Jedi, and I appreciate The Last Jedi more, especially after watching this film. And it just it just all these people who shit on The Last Jedi, I just want to tell them thanks a lot, because you just ruined something that could have been taken a little bit more further, because you shitting on Star Wars. It's just you value your opinion. That's your opinion, but your opinion sucks. If you didn't like The Last Jedi, I think your opinion really does suck. And you shut up. Because you done ruined this whole entire series. We're part of the reason. The other part of the reason is Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and the people at Lucasfilms, because you had no ending to this. You had no ending. You just went in there and was like, okay, we got Star Wars, making a Star Wars movie. A whole nother trilogy with the original cast, because everyone hated the prequels. Okay, what's the story? We'll make it up as we go along. Let's go. Start filming. Just get the original cast in here. And it's just Marvel has a plan. They had 20 some odd movies, but they knew how it was going to start, how it was going to end. But you guys seem to not have an ending. So, Mary, you want to jump in?
I don't know what to say after that.
That's how much I love these goddamn films, man.
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Even though I didn't necessarily care for the path they took Luke on in Last Jedi necessarily, I didn't get on the internet and rise a fit about it. I just dealt with it. That's the biggest problem. It's not that I love Star Wars, but I'm not gonna go burn the film down. But getting back to the film itself, I also thought he tried cramming way too much in, and the pacing was terrible.
Right.
If we're going off to the actual film standard, you had for a movie that they didn't have a plan for, it was pretty clear throughout that he didn't have a plan for the whole movie in general and how he was going to pace it.
Right.
And there's also supposedly several, almost an hour's worth of additional film that is going to be released later.
Right.
They go to these different planets back and forth with a plot that really was like The Force Awakens. They have a map and they're chasing something. It was really similar to The Force Awakens. And you meet Poe's girlfriend or whatever. You don't get to meet her, and you're supposed to care all of a sudden. Things like that just didn't tie very well. Those kinds of things just really didn't set well with me, because those are the things that make Star Wars great, are the relationships between the characters.
Right.
And the characters they introduced didn't really have much of a
relationship.
Yeah. And they could have, it just seemed really off.
Yeah, and some of the relationships they established in The Last Jedi, they just shit on this movie, like Rose. Rose and Finn. It's just all right, Rose, we're going to sit you right here, because that casino scene, everyone thought it sucked. It was slow. Yeah, it was really slow, but I didn't think it sucked. But they just shit on Rose and just have Rose sit back at home. Or as much as that was great to see Lando back in the film, he didn't give him that much to do other than fly the Millennium Falcon again.
It was for fan service.
Yeah.
It was to, I told you in a text after. I said it felt like a big fan fiction. People just put JJ was like, they'll like this, they'll like this, they'll like that.
Yep.
Let me just throw it in there.
Yeah, it's literally, it was you said it was fan fiction, and
not
I was
in ways.
I was like, damn, I could have wrote something better than this shit. I would have had a whole nother movie setting up the last movie, explaining a lot of things, and then we get to the last film. But Joel, I'm sorry, you've been
I think it just goes. At the end of the day, it's a business for them, for Disney, for these producers. Bought this stuff for $4 billion a few years back, and they're gonna. That's what I was thinking when I watched it. They're just trying to appease as many people as possible with this last film.
Right.
I would normally
just split it right down the middle. So the fact that it's it's gonna appease it's still got somewhat of original ideas floating around there. That's gonna keep newer fans interested, but enough of the older ideas and the older mythology to just appease the old heads like myself.
I would normally agree with you about the Disney being the big bad corrupt thing in the movie, but I feel like this was JJ because Last Jedi still made a bunch of money and they let him take it in the direction they wanted to. I feel like this was still his baby, and Lucasfilm still had some like artistic integrity to be had. And I feel like The Force Awakens brought back all of those like nostalgia. Like that's what the purpose of that was for. And like The Last Jedi was building as a bridge from the nostalgia towards something new, while also keeping that there. But this movie kind of went backwards towards The Force Awakens, but with a bad like structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. And it just come up with a damn story from beginning. If you don't have 3 parts to the story, make sure you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Don't just go, okay, we'll make the middle, and then here I'll pass the baton off.
Yeah, but I think that they wanted to give a certain creative license. What I understand is that like they had planned to have 3 different directors at the beginning.
Yeah.
And after The Last Jedi, they thought, well, this isn't fucking going too well. Like, what the hell is this other guy gonna do? Like, he's gonna piss off more people. So they reeled it back in. They went with something familiar, which was J.J. Abrams.
They were supposed to have Trevor Morrow.
I say his name.
Jurassic
I was
World.
about that because I hate Jurassic World.
Yeah, I wasn't too fond of Jurassic World either.
Well, and the thing about J.J. Abrams, I like the aesthetic. Like that he generally brings to the films. I think he's used a little more practical effects and everything. I think, from an aesthetic standpoint, I liked how Force Awakens looked over The Last Jedi.
Right.
And I probably and that's another thing too, like it kept me entertained throughout the film when I was just kind of suspending my disbelief when it came to plot lines. Is I just liked what I was looking at. I thought a lot of stuff looked really cool. Mm-hmm. Especially stuff like Exegol and, when Rey and Kylo are going at it in lightsaber duels.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think what my original point was, but the 3 directors, they didn't have a plan. They were going to give them creative license, I think. Yeah. But it went so far sideways in terms of backlash that they had to go back and reel it in and bring a familiar person to helmet.
Well, you got to blame Disney because not only the fact that give them so many creative licenses. Like they've been really like fucking clamping down on. Like everyone loves Rogue One. Mm-hmm. Everyone loves Rogue One. Yep. But how much like behind the scenes, how they had to change the ending, how they had to change a bunch of things along those lines. Because they didn't like how the studio didn't like how it was going, how the film was going, so they had to change the whole entire ending. Like there's scenes that they filmed that's not been shown yet. Or Solo, no one likes Solo. I like Solo, but the 2 directors they had, it was like they fired them and brought in Ron Howard because they were going more improv as opposed to sticking with the script. So, I blame Disney for this because they're so micromanaging everything. And then when they micromanage shit and people backlash on it, then they want to go, okay, we'll give you like whatever you want. And then all of a sudden you got a big pile of fucking shit. That's why the 2 dudes from Game of Thrones was like, we don't want nothing to fucking do with this. Mm-hmm. When they signed up, it was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, I don't just blame JJ. I just feel like he's in a bad situation, and like that's kind of hard to, either way. Someone was gonna be mad either way.
Yeah.
Like somebody was gonna be mad.
Wait, why was he in a bad situation?
Because no matter what he did, someone was gonna be mad after The Last Jedi. If he went back towards this way, he was gonna appease a lot of the old fanboys, and if he didn't, he was gonna not appease like everybody else who didn't hate The Last Jedi.
That's true.
But he also could have just made the film better. Like he could have just like paced it better and stuff like that. Like I said, he could have done a few things better along the way and done the same thing.
I think he was pandering to a certain
really
audience.
hard, yeah, really hard.
So,
I think no, I put it more on Disney too. From what I've read and heard, I think he had a lot more footage. He wanted to split this last ideas that he had in the 2 films. Actually, mm-hmm. I've heard, and he had something that was at least like an hour longer, and they cut it down to 2.5 hours. Even like the last edit that he had put forward, I think they edited it down even further without him knowing about it. So he went to the premiere and saw a film that wasn't.
Oh.
That changes
even chopped down. Yeah. If that stuff is to be true, believe it to be true, but that's what I've heard and read.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was the worst movie ever. It just Only since the Phantom Menace did I come out of there feeling confused. Like actually confused.
I wasn't confused about the Phantom Menace. I was totally fine with the Phantom Menace.
I still like the Phantom Menace, but there was the whole point where, what's his name?
Qui-Gon Jinn?
No.
George Lucas?
Freaking Darth Vader.
Darth Maul.
Anakin. Yeah, that guy. I can't think of names. He blew up the freaking ship at the end, and my eyes rolled in the back of my head. That's so stupid. You know, like, there were some things in this movie that were kind of like that, where I'm like, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, you're going to do this. Yeah, I can see where you're going with it. And I can look over, I can look over the horses riding on the ship and all those things. I'm used to that with Star Wars. I'm used to plot holes, somewhat. This just seemed to go beyond it. And
I hope you know they weren't in space on Exegol. They were in Exegol.
They were pretty high in the air, though.
They were high, but they still
being honest,
air.
You would have blown off the ship. Come on.
There was still air up on where they were.
Cold.
Yeah.
It'd be cold. Yeah, it'd be cold. But you know what? It's science fiction, so
I heard from The Last Jedi all those people complaining about the ship and the physics and all that stuff and all that.
This is science fucking fiction.
Exactly. I'm not complaining about that stuff.
Fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson. Well, I don't think motherfuckers were in a galaxy far, far away.
Parsecs.
Is he related to Lando too?
Probably. Racist bastards. But we were talking about things like, well, that's what, motherfucker, we're talking about a Western in space. Jesus.
Now, if we actually went true canon, we would have taken George Lucas's idea of the wills.
I thought that they handled the wills as best as they handled it in Rogue One.
True.
And I was like, that's it.
I feel like they made the Force incredibly strong in this movie, though.
Yeah, they were repairing people.
They can do anything
It
now.
got stronger over time if you didn't notice. Like, it was progressively getting more and more. I mean, The Last Jedi, they did
Projections.
quite a lot in that, yeah, so.
Like over here repairing giant rattlesnakes and shit, man. Like people screaming across galaxies, like shit. And it was a lot of things. Okay, what's some other things? How'd y'all feel about the ending?
Like
what part?
Specifically, yeah.
Like pretty much when the Emperor is fully regained. The Emperor's fully regained its power, which that was another thing. The ending, it was like, okay, the Emperor Palpatine is telling Kylo Ren to go kill his granddaughter. He doesn't do it. Then it's like he wants his granddaughter to come to him so she could kill him and he could pass his power on to her so he can live forever. And then she won't do it. And Kylo Ren joins forces, becomes Ben Solo again, and then he sucks their power to become young. What? Why did you just do that in the first place?
That's when I say the Force. Like, it's okay to change some things, but when you make it too powerful, it just feels lazy. And it feels like anything's possible at that point, like the Emperor is sucking their essences out into becoming a younger person full of energy or whatever that was.
Okay, so I'm confused by what you just said. I saw the movie and I still feel confused, and I feel like they're trying to make the Emperor seem very manipulative, but I couldn't tell when he was like lying or telling the truth. Like, did he really need Rey to kill him? Was that not true? Like, what's going on?
Supposedly he needed Rey. First of all, he needs Rey dead. Then he can't get Rey dead. Then he's like, well, if I get him to kill me, then my power will go into her, and then I will become a woman.
Emperor just wanted to be.
Yeah, and for this whole time, he just wanted to be transition. And okay, that didn't work, so I'll just take both of your life forces and become old, ratty old Emperor again. Like, that didn't make any sense. Like, why did you do one or the other? Either let's get their power, or just Rey kill me. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And then her laying down and hearing the voices, the Force voices, I thought this, like, literally, you couldn't get them to show up. You couldn't get Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson and the voices from like dress up some people to look like the people from Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars, and show up and just like big Avengers